Hey everyone, in this video I want to show you the Hot Wheels Mega Garage. This one is new for 2021. That's when I got this, but I haven't opened it until now, so I'm excited to see what this thing looks like. And this kind of follows suit of all of the other large Hot Wheels garage sets that have come out since kind of the late 2010s or so, like 2017. 2016 thereabouts, when the very first Ultimate Garage was released. And at that time, the Ultimate Garage was advertised, I think, as like one of the largest Hot Wheels sets, if not the largest, that was ever released. And it was $100, which was a, really kind of insane asking price for it. But it was a huge set. And I really liked that set a lot. It's one of my favorites. But after that, they've released different versions of it, and various different sizes of it and everything. They've made some bigger ones, some smaller ones. This is kind of like a mid-sized one, I guess you could say. So where that Ultimate Garage was $100, and they've released ones that are, close to even $200 after that. This one was like $50 to $60. I think that's somewhere in there is what I paid for it. So kind of a mid-sized set, I don't know. I guess I'd still kind of call it a larger set. And then, like, the Ultimate Garage is like an ultimate set, I suppose. So this is kind of, maybe you could call it a larger set. But at least compared to all the other garages, it's a mid-size set. So anyways, no more about that. Let's take a look at what we've got on the front. I mean, basically shows you what you've got here. And it's, to me, it looks pretty darn cool. I like it because it doesn't have any crazy monster features or anything. It's basically just a big old parking garage. And I really like that. So as long as all the features work nicely, I think I'm pretty excited to see how this works, and I'm thinking it'll be a pretty cool set. But, basically what you got is you got a spiral elevator to bring all the cars to the top, and I suppose you can stop at other levels too, I'm not sure, but then you got a spiral ramp that goes all the way down, and then, on the bottom, just like a lot of the other sets have, it looks like maybe a few little, features down here, a little repair center and that sort of thing. I don't see like a car wash anything like that, but maybe there could be I don't know. But usually it's very similar to a lot of these other Hot Wheels garage sets. And I mean that in, pretty much a good way, because I like all those classic garage sets. So, but it does have a kind of modern look to it, at least. But anyways, with that all said, it does come with one car. There it is. Kind of cool if it came with more than that, since it's such a large set, but it is just one car included, but at least there's that. Let's see, it says move diverters to park and exit. So just kind of advertising one little feature there. I think the rest of the box here is kind of a little bit more boring to look at, but nevertheless, I'll show you that real quick. On the bottom, we've got your usual copyright information. This one is from 2020 and then released in 2021, of course. Let's see, if I flip this around, you can see that the back is actually vertical. So I'm going to pull the camera off the tripod here so that we can just go from top to bottom. And I suppose they did it this way in case, whatever store it was in wanted to display this vertically. You could do that as well. So that's kind of cool. But 2 feet tall. So like I said, it's not a huge set, but it still should be pretty big. And basically just a good look at it from top to bottom here. And I like the just general look of it, and visibly how many cars can park here. I think it advertises that it stores 40 plus cars. And I can kind of see the plus part, because if you use your imagination, you could, you can use the regular parking places plus these storage things on the side here, and then you could just add more cars wherever there's extra room if you don't care about driving the cars around. So, but anyway, that is that, and it's got this this usual kind of modern box where you punch out the back side, and that's where you get the pieces. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll see what's inside here. And oddly, inside the box, they have a couple pieces glued here. I am not sure what the purpose of that was. I guess just for keeping something safe, but I don't think I've ever seen that before. A couple of just random cardboard pieces glued inside the box. But nevertheless, let's take a look. Alright, so first let's take a look at the paper inserts that came with this. And the first thing you get is this little mini poster, which is kind of neat, actually. You can see all the monster type themed things going on in this, though. So fun for the kids. I'm sure kids like that. Some do, probably some don't. For me as an adult collector, I'm not really super keen on the monster style sets, but nevertheless, at the time they had Hot Wheels City versus Toxic Creatures, I guess. And you can see all the various kind of smaller sets they had. You know, like a snake-themed one. This looks like I don't know, kind of like a monkey / slime man. I have no idea. Serpent type set there. So all kinds of those things. Some larger sets mixed in here, and then these are some smaller sets as well. And you know, you can kind of see the Toxic Creatures versus the City part, because a lot of these are the, you know, the creature sets. But then you have some of these more city sets, and some of them don't have any monster type stuff at all. At least the one that we're taking a look at here, the Mega Garage, doesn't. And you can see some of the other variations of the garages as well. And some of these did have, you know, like you can see a gorilla there, climbing there. There's a big dinosaur on this one. So, but all the some different variations of these large garage sets, and you can see a smaller version right there, the Stunt Garage. So yeah, just kind of a look at some of the sets that were out in 2021, I guess. And so there was that. Now, we do get a nice full-color instruction manual, and while I was opening this up and looking at it, I couldn't help but notice that stickers were already applied, and so I thought, well, maybe that's all done with. But you take a look at the instruction manual here, and note that there is taped inside here a sticker sheet, so there will be some stickers to apply as it turns out, but it doesn't look like it's too many of them. Otherwise, you get this nice full-color manual, and yeah, it looks like it should be fairly straightforward to put together. Might take a little bit of time, but you know, it's a large set, so that's kind of to be expected. But I like the full color. Looks pretty, you know, pretty well detailed as far as how to put it together. And then it shows you how to play with it as well and how all the features work. So pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up, and we'll see what it looks like and how the features work. Actually, real quick before I do that, I should just give you a quick tour of the parts here. And the thing I like about these parts is there's not too many of them. You got your one base right here, and then each of the levels has its own piece here. It looks like this might be the top level, if I'm not mistaken. You got this big spiral elevator piece, which is huge, and then you got all kinds of ramps, and then the storage areas for the cars. So really not a ton of like little parts or anything. So I'm thinking assembly is going to be not too bad for this, but we'll see, and let's take a look at what it looks like. All right, here's a first look at the set fully assembled, and I gotta say, this thing went together pretty snappy, and I mean that literally and figuratively. Obviously, a lot of snapping in place, but snappy also as in quick and easy. I mean, it didn't take me all that long. Even the few stickers I had to apply, there really weren't that many. Most of them were down here on the base in various places, and it just wasn't that hard to do. So, you know, this is awesome. So I like that. I like the overall look of it. I should show you first the car that comes with the set here. So let's just take a quick look at that. It's basketball themed, actually. I'm not sure why, I guess, but nevertheless it is. And this is it has a copyright of 2009, and it's the Torque Twister. So there's a look at the car that is included. It is a fully painted car, which, you know, is for kind of these stunt type sets like this, which, well, I shouldn't call this a stunt set, it's more of a city set, but it has some stunts in it. I usually, you know, it seems like it would make more sense to have more of a plastic-y car since, you know, paint can tend to wear if it's kind of crashing around a lot. But I don't think kids are going to care about that too much. So anyways, let's just take a first look at this before trying the features. I have a very good first impression of this, I gotta say. It looks good. And, you know, everything is nice and sturdy, and it seems like the features that it has should be pretty self-explanatory and should work. So the main one on this, and I was actually surprised about this, there's no batteries required for this at all. I was surprised by that. I thought there might be for this center elevator thing here, but nope, you just turn this little crank here, and it spins, and it seems like it's basically a one-to-one thing. I don't know, you know, it doesn't seem like there's any gears in there that are making it, you know, turn slower or faster. It seems like it's one-to-one, but probably would have to open it up to really see for sure. But it seems like it works really well. You turn it, it's easy to turn, and it spins pretty fast, which is really nice too. You know, you get nervous if something like this, you'd have to spin it really fast to get it to move at a snail's pace. But this is actually pretty efficient. The only thing I really don't like is just listen to that click. That is really obnoxious. I wish it didn't have that click, but yeah, other than that, that's how that works. And it also has a kind of clever little thing going on down here. So when you turn it, it kind of looks like it's a stopper for cars so that you can kind of let one in at a time. So that's kind of clever how they designed that. So other features of this set, it's got several diverters here, and I wasn't sure if you could drive, you know, if you were, you know, by following the rules, I guess to say, if you could drive cars onto the first and second level. It looks like technically by design you're not supposed to. I mean, obviously you could put a car here, and well, maybe I should do that the right way first, but you could put a car here, and then maybe just pull it out and just toss it there. But I think it's really designed to go all the way to the top, and then from there you've got all these diverters on each level to basically pick which way you want the car to go. So if you want it to stay up on third floor and this is where you want to park, you keep it like that, it'll go around, and you can drive the car around here and down, or you can move the diverter here, and right from the top it'll start going down. So that's pretty neat. And then on each floor we've got kind of similar things, diverters here if you want to park it on number 2. If you want it to keep going straight down the spiral, you know, it'll keep going down. Same with the first level here. Levels 1 and 2, these pieces are exactly identical, so it's kind of the same thing there. You'll notice up here on the third floor, it's a little bit more detailed. We've got a little, looks like a gas pump up here, so, and then a few more parking places up here, and then less of them. There's only 4 on each level on 2 and 1. But anyway, there's that, and then you can spiral all the way to the bottom where you have one last diverter. You can decide to go back into the lift there, or go around the curve to the bottom where you can connect with other Hot Wheels track, or send the cars to a few more parking spots and some of these little repair areas down here. So that's pretty neat. And I love the efficiency of this ground level too. They've made use of every little nook and cranny, it looks like, for the most part. You got a little place you can park there, tucked away in this corner. You can park a car there, and even in the back there, there's a few parking spots as well. So they kind of used every bit of space they could for something in mostly parking places, but that's really cool. Then last but not least, you got all these parking places here for cars. So this is really designed for, you know, kind of being, if you're putting this in a kid's bedroom, it's going to be something that, you know, you're not really going to take this apart every time you play with it. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a centerpiece for the room. You might put it in the closet or something, but it's not meant to be disassembled, really. It's a big set, and it has carrying handles here, which is really cool. One on this side, one on this side, so that you can kind of easily lift it up and move it with two hands and, you know, transport it with the cars still on it, I presume, too. So that's pretty neat. With all of that introduction said, I think it's time to try this, and we'll try it with just this one car here first and see how it works. And making its way to the top. Let's see. I think before, let's just for fun, right away, let's just send it all the way down the ramp. Why not? So here we go. And I guess I switched this diverter the wrong way. I kind of wanted it to come out here, but that's totally fine. Let's just send it up again. Oh, it got a little stuck there, unfortunately. Okay, so that works pretty good. The ramp looks, it works as designed, so that's awesome. Now let's take a little peek down here at some of these features. I'm not exactly sure how this one is supposed to work. I guess you just lift it like that. That's kind of odd. Not sure if I like that design. But you can lift this up. I guess pretend like you're working underneath it or something. So a little bit basic. I wish that was something that would just kind of lift straight up or something. But anyways, that's that. Got your plenty of parking spaces down there, like I said. Otherwise, you got just a little accessory here. Kind of pretend like you're fixing the car. And you can attach to, you know, kind of the standard Hot Wheels track right there and then right there as well. So there's two places there. And like I mentioned here, got a little space to park here and get some gas. There's another parking place over here, so that's pretty neat. Let's try this one more time, but we'll stop at a few floors. Alright, so we'll move the diverters here. Let's do it at all of them. Let's say I'm going to stop at every single floor. Then on the bottom, I'll demonstrate this here. It should stop the car at the very bottom. So, well, first thing, this is going to get caught here again, I think, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to push that. So that's an unfortunate thing. You got to be kind of quick about it, I guess. But anyways, I'm going to set this up so that it will stop on the bottom here once it comes down to the bottom. Let's take a look at the top here. Plenty of parking places, so that's pretty neat. And let's see. We'll drive around the back here, and where we do have just this one little kind of rogue gas pump on its own right back here. So you can kind of pretend to pump the car with gas. And then here you can just drive right back onto the ramp. And we'll go down to the second floor here where we have some more parking places. So you can park the car there, and then you actually have to drive up the little ramp here to go down again. So we'll have to move the diverter here, push it up and around, get down to the first floor, which again is identical. Move the diverter here. Send the car briefly up and then down. And I actually had the diverter the wrong way here, so let's try that one more time. There we go, so that stopped the car right there. Turn the crank just a little bit and it should be able to go right in. Alright, one more time. I'll send the car straight down. And this, assuming I make this right, we'll just send it straight down. I'm going to try to go fast with this so that it'll kind of go right out instead of getting caught. We'll see how that works. Not quite. It just keeps getting caught in there, at least with this particular car. Okay, so I loaded this thing up with cars, so you can see that every single parking place is filled, and just about every nook and cranny has a car in it. Of course, I could be even a little bit more creative if I wanted to. You could park some more cars here, let's say. You know, you could be more creative if you wanted to, but anyways, you can see them all parked here. Now, even for some of these little go-karts, you could park them up here. It's not technically supposed to be a parking place, but you know, if you've got a small enough car, why not? So I counted, let's see, as far as all the cars I have on the set right now, it's 49. I can make that 50 if I just drive this one up on the little repair ramp here. So now there are 50 cars on this set total, so it definitely is 40 or more, absolutely. So this is pretty cool. You can store a lot of cars as advertised. Now we better try some of these features again with a few more cars, mainly the elevator here. So let's load up a few of these cars and see how well this works with you know, a nice set of multiple cars here. So here we go. And a little error right there. Let's see if I can try this again. Maybe we'll let that one go in first. I guess that particular car is just having some trouble. I do notice once you start to load this thing up with cars, and there, that one fell. It's a lot harder to move this thing up. Just heavier. The cars are kind of colliding a little bit more with things, so yeah, it's not perfect. And some of these cars are not really necessarily designed for you know, going up something like this, but nevertheless. That actually worked pretty smooth overall. Oh, something's jammed. Something's definitely jammed. Let's see. I don't know where it is. Maybe it's this one here. Let's see. Okay, I got it. And that's a little bit jammed there. That car, a little big perhaps. Alright. And we'll send them down to the bottom now. Alright, so that's kind of how it works with multiple cars. Again, the main thing is this elevator here, and you know how well that works. And it works well enough, I would say, but it's not perfect. You can't just expect to, you know, keep spinning this continuously and expect all the cars to just flow very smoothly. You're going to have to kind of push things and you know, just push things out. Things are going to get stuck, and that's just how it is. But otherwise, everything seems to be working pretty well with this set. It's as advertised. It just looks good, too. Let's take a better look at it from the back, where you can see more stuff and fill it up with cars. It looks great. It works good. This is a cool set. So I don't know if this is going to be around. You know, this video is being made in 2025. I don't know if this particular set's going to be around, let's say, for the 2025 holiday season going into 2026. I have no idea, But if it is, not a bad idea to think about this one. So there it is. The Hot Wheels Mega Garage from 2021. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.